Sit back, let's unpack. It's MMA Shack. Let's get right to this. Today I'm going to be ranking every UFC sloppy event, every UFC event in 2025. It is a shit show. I'll tell you right there. Yeah, okay, I would say like half the cards, trash. Other half, decent. Some S tier cards, but I don't know what to say. Dana White out here just putting a good main event versus card, complete dog. I feel like that's been the recipe for the year 2025 of UFC cards, and year of 2026 is just it got worse. I don't know how he did it. Dana White has outdone himself by making the cards even worse. Paramount turned the UFC into a full casual sport, so let's go. We're going to full WWE track. You outdid yourself, Dana White. Good job. Uh, very happy with these UFC 324, 325. Oh my God, slop. 326. That's all they can do. Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. That's the only champions available in March. So I'm not going to complain about that card. That has to be it. But 324, 325, garbage events. I don't know why 324 is going to have Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje for the interim belt, and 324 and 325, that's 334. 325 is going to be Lopez versus Volk 2. Volk just 49-46 Lopez. And they're like, let's do a rematch. What in the hell is going on? Full casual is to get up the ratings for the subscriptions. They want to see those fights for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like you could still Volk fighting undefeated fighter will generate a lot more buzz than Volk rematching the person he 49 like 46. But you know what? Their matchmakers are senile, so I can't complain about that. On to the events of 2025. This is in no I'm going to release them in no particular order, but I did rank them in order. Let's go for the first card, the last event of the year, Royval versus Cape. Royval versus Cape. I give it. It was a B. It's a little more. It was a little better than mid. It had good prospects on the Yaroslav. It had a good main event, Royval versus Cape. It had a lot of good finishes, and I feel like it's. I rated a B because I would say it has like a defining factor where Cape is next for the flyweight title. This first round finish he got against Royval, this defined him as the challenger for the against Joshua Van or against Pantoja if UFC decides to rematch that fight before Cape's title shot. But I would say Cape is next. Tatsuya Tara, hopefully he's not next. I think Cape jumps him. So let's hopefully keeps that. We got Cape versus Tyra. If they want to do a rematch first, Van versus Pantoja. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, that's why I rated it a lot higher than other cards because it does have a defining moment in the card where this fighter is next for a title shot, a contender fight, basically. Next, Lopez versus Silva. Also, a contender fight. Sadly, I did not want Lopez to get the next title shot, but this was his contender fight, I guess. Good main event. Great finish by Lopez. He had success in the first round by actually grappling with him, taking him down, wrestling with Silva. Second round, he's like, you know what? Let me not do what I'm going to win. I'm just going to block with my face and get hit the entire round. Almost get 10-8, but the last second, he did a spinning elbow, knocks out Silva. Great, but he would have lost that round if not for that fluke knockout, 100%. And I don't see how this jumps Mozart or jumps Little Murphy. He already had a title shot. He should at least get two shots. This is like the O'Malley treatment. O'Malley's worse. He got a title shot by getting 50-45 against Marab, and then got a rematch just for that performance. Like these big stars are getting rematches for losing. Like they're getting famous off losing. Lopez is famous off losing. Kobe got famous off losing. Sean O'Malley got famous for losing. Bro, just they're all these famous for losing fighters. So, but it's still a good card nonetheless. Still impactful performance from Lopez. Other card is pretty good as well. We'll see how the rest of the event goes, but it was good nonetheless. Next, Max Holloway versus Poirier. Great fight. Great card. It was a good card. It was really fun to watch. Number of event material, but it was still a good card to watch. This is, Dustin was Max's first fight. Max was Dustin's last fight. It was like kind of like poetic. I liked it. I enjoyed all of this. The whole storyline, Dustin's retirement. It was a good card. It was enjoyable to watch. Dustin needed this fight in particular to retire. This was fun to see. And unfortunately, he did take the L. I wish he won. I want Poirier. I want Dustin to, take a dub. I want him to take a dub. Oh my God, I just yawned. Take a dub. But nonetheless, it was a good fight. Good card. Next. Best A-level card, almost S tier. Bilal Muhammad versus JDM, and Valentina versus Man of the Year or something like that. I don't know. I don't watch MMA, but Bilal versus JDM. I would say this is A because there's a lot riding on this fight. If Bilal loses, we have Islam, which did happen. He would fight the winner of this fight. He fights JDM. Dude was on 18 fight win streak, undefeated in the UFC, huge champion, outclassed Bilal, and it was like a whole storyline where the buildup was like, oh, if Bilal wins, we get Ilya versus Islam in the summer. If Bilal loses, we get Islam versus JDM in the fall, and that's how it went. Bilal lost. We had Islam versus JDM. So it was a big whole storyline build up for this whole thing. A lot of fans were jumping on. So it was a good build up card. It was a good card at the end, good main event fight. And so that is it's like a whole picture where it's like, the build up also. I factor in also the build up, the fight week of the card, how it's doing. And I feel like it's going to be, it lived up to its potential. Next. Corey versus Figgy, mid, forgettable. No one remembers this fight. Next. Arman versus Hooker. Great fight, great lead up. Fight week was extremely good, fun. It was entertaining. This was one of the best fight night cards of the year. It was huge. This was like a pay-per-view fight, but it was a fight night card. So that's why I rank it as because it's a fight night card and it had so many good fighters on this card. We had great main event and co-main event. Arman versus Hooker and Bilal versus Ian Gary. Great co-main event. Ian Gary outclassed Bilal Muhammad, especially with 3 eye pokes that didn't get a single point deduction, which was trash. I feel like every single eye poke, even if it's intentional or non-intentional, should be taking a point. Like that's how you stop fighters from fighting with their fingers all the time. And now you have to make a president. Okay. And I feel like this was a defining factor of the fight to start being more aggressive on eye pokes. But it was a good lead up. This was co-main and main contender fights. So Gary should be, or I don't know, but he should be next in line for a title shot if it's not Shavkat. but Shavkat did take a year off, so I understand the whole thing with Shavkat needs another fight. That's understandable. That's fine. He should get another fight, fight someone else. Gary should get this fight over protest, get the championship fight over protest. There's an argument for Morales too because he fought the number two contender. So it's like you have Gary, protest, Shavkat. Do not say Usman. We have Morales. Usman does not deserve it. He needs one more fight, but we have four contenders for a championship that you can make an argument for. But nonetheless, and then we have Arman who after a long time got another fight after his missed weight on 311, and then he made weight for backup 317. I believe 317 was Ilya. Made backup for that, and this one he made weight again, which I don't know how. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm just yawning. But Arman, great fight. Got the finish off Hooker. And he deserves the interim title shot. I don't know why Dana White did. They're using this tired excuse, the dumb tired excuse for like, oh, he missed. Yes, of course he missed. He messed up. He messed up. He did. He did mess up big, and they're still bringing it up though. They're like, oh my god, he still did this. He still missed weight on the title shot. But that was literally in January. He made backup weight, and then he made weight for this one and fought another person. He did his time, okay? And then you're giving it to Justin Gaethje. Oh my god, Justin Gaethje versus Patty. Patty last fight was Michael Chandler. Okay, bro was ranked number 9 and moved to number 5 without even fighting. It was all planned. Ilya does not want Arman. Ilya is running from Arman. Ilya literally put on many interviews, I will not fight Arman, because he knows he'll lose to Arman. He knows that for a fact. And it's sad to see the UFC just ruining their own sport. But we'll see. I think Ilya is going to vacate because of his whole drum issue going on in his personal life. So we'll see. Maybe it's made up for some reason to dodge Arman, or maybe it's real. We don't know, and he will know. But I would say if Ilya vacates, then it'll be Arman versus the winner of Patty versus Justin for the lightweight belt, which is fine, good. That's what he needs. That's what he deserves. Patty versus Arman would be huge. And Justin versus Arman would still be big. That would be still great fights. If Ilya vacates without defending his lightweight title, he needs to fight a contender no matter what in the welterweight division. You cannot just jump weight like that. Okay, he's trying to be Conor so bad. He got the allegations though, so he's almost there. He got the spine tattoo, chest tattoo, got the featherweight belt, got the lightweight belt. Now he just needs to get submitted and welterweight, lose in lightweight, lose a boxing match, and he got the allegations. So he's already, he's almost there. Full on fruition. So let's see what it goes. And we go to the next event. RDR versus Allen. This was a great fight. This was huge unpredicted main event. RDR had like 5 fights in 1 year. Merab even gassed out super bad in the 4 fights. He was underperforming than he usually does against Jan too. But Jan was a whole different beast. He learned from his mistakes, learned from everything. His hand was fixed and destroyed Merab. But also RDR, people are forgetting he fought a bunch of times too. He fought 4 or 5 times in 1 year, and all that weight cutting that caught up to him. It took him forever. He was like in the behind the scenes. After the fight, he was like, he couldn't even walk upstairs because of his cardio and a bunch of things was going on with his stamina, endurance, and so his breathing and everything. So I think he had another fight booked against Chopper Hollow that was announced today, and he's going to be fighting in March. So let's see if his stamina and endurance is back up by then. But this fight, he quit on the stool, and he was getting outclassed by Allen. Allen was just doing circles around him after the first round. It was RDR in the first round. After that, it was just Allen all day. And then RDR just gave up on the stool. He couldn't move forward. And it was like, Allen's. It was a big fight. Allen put his name back out there in contention for the title shots. But we got Imavov first. Then we got the winner of Strickland versus Alex Hernandez, and then we potentially get Brandon Allen. Fight. Brandon Allen could be fighting DDP next. We don't know if that's a fight to make, but we will see. And that could give him the next title shot as well. So middleweight's moving up, moving fast with these two fights. It will be a lot faster to see who's going to get the next title shot after Imavov. So we'll see that next. Next fight. Marab versus Yan 2. Huge, beautiful last pay-per-view. It wasn't built up like on paper. It was like an all right card, but it definitely delivered. It definitely delivered. It was a great card, great finishes, and unfortunately, the Pantoja got injured. Extremely unfortunate. But we got Van as champion. I don't blame him being happy about that. You still won the belt. You're champion. If I won the belt from nothing, I would be ecstatic as well. I'll be like, let's go. That's anybody's reaction. Everybody would be ecstatic. You just got saved by losing against Pantoja. Pantoja would have dog walked him. So we'll see if Pantoja's ever the same again with his injury. If it doesn't pop out again during fights, if that happens, like TJ Dillashaw, that constantly happens for him. He constantly, his shoulder constantly pops out of place now whenever he fights. And so we'll see if it's still going to create a problem whenever he fights still. But if not, he should win he should win the fight, his rematch. But I don't think it's going to be Van. It's Van versus Manel Cap should be next, and I think Cap wins that fight. Then after Cap, it might be Taishu Atara, but whenever Pantoja is back, his next fight is going to be for the belt, obviously. Pantoja deserved it. Pantoja can take his time. Heal, take your time. Your next fight, no matter what's for the title. So just take your time, heal, rest. You don't have to rush back. And so that's why I rated S plus. And then Morava versus Yan. Oh my God, the performance Yan performed. It was a thing of beauty. Okay, he literally dog walked Morava. He 50-45, 50-44 almost Morava. He was doing circles around Morava. And then Morava tried to showboat, when he loses, he'll around or he's doing bad. He's like, oh yeah, crowd, let's go. Then he tries to lift up his person or throw the person like he did with Omar. He pushed him off and Omar did a Grammy roll out of a takedown. And then he's like, oh yeah, look, I got you. Bro, you cannot even, the only thing you do is shoot takedowns. You cannot hold your opponents down and you cannot outstrike them. He was getting outstriked by Omar. And the only thing he had on him was showboating and takedowns. But he couldn't hold him a single second. Murata has terrible control time. The only thing he's good at is clinching against the fence. He's like Ian Guerrero against the fence, just holding the person up. Like he went full Dalby. But Jan had a game plan. Jan got more takedowns than Marab. Jan defended that entirely. He pushed him again. He pushed him away from the fence, outclassed him, kept hitting his stomach for cardio to affect his cardio, Marab's cardio stamina, and he was just putting a full beating on Marab, and it was great to see. It was fun. I was jumping up and down. It was fun to see. It was fun to see Peter Yan like that again. He was dialed in. That was exciting to see Peter Yan just floating on the canvas. That was hype. But that's why I gave it the second best card of the of the year, because of the performances, and the lead up to it was not as great, because everyone's counting out Yan, which, to be fair, because he got 50-44 his last fight with Murab. But nonetheless, it was huge. Like the performance, he proved everybody wrong, and it was great. It was great for him to see that. Next, Oliveira versus Gamrot. This was a good card. A lot of finishes on this card. A lot of finishes. Fun to see. And Gamma and Oliveira came back from a losing streak. He got his win. Caught him going again, and it was fun to see the excitement. The build up for this was good, and the aftermath of this fight was actually good too. I give this an A. Fun card, fun fight to see. Next, Tyre versus Park. Forgettable, boring. It was it was a mid card, bro. People people are gonna forget about this card. No one's gonna remember this card. Next one, forget mid. Walker versus Zhang. Yeah, Walker got the big upset. Great. Sherling, of course, was going to be Ortega. Ortega is always coming up dead. Every fight, he just looks miserable as hell making weight. Never belongs in the 145. He needs to be like 155, 170. Bro just looks miserable. I just want to see him crack a smile before gets in the octagon. He just looks like his heart's never in anymore, and it's sad to see. But mid card, all right. Great upset. That's why I didn't rate it lower, but it was good. Nothing like, to boast. I would say Caesar just like, it's a good card, but like nothing like over the top. Next, Garcia versus Onama. Great, great fight, great performance by Garcia, but still card lead up everything mid. Nothing, nothing to say yet because they're just unranked. It's just fine, just fight night cards. Next, 319. This was another peak card. Huge buzz before the fight. The whole fight week was just buzzing with DDP and Hamza. DDP is like, oh my God, he's not going to take me down. If he does, good. I want to be on the ground. I want to out wrestle him on his own on the ground. His coach, DDP's coach, is like, we want the fight to go on the ground. Bring us down. We'll show you what we can do. Absolutely destroyed. This was the, I would say, this was the most this was the most dominating performance a challenger has done to a champion ever. He completely immobilized a champion. I don't think any fight where an actual contender did that to a champion just completely immobilized him throughout the entire fight. Yeah, there's a lot of champions that got finishes and like stuff like that. That's fine. That's just like fluke knockouts. But I feel like all knockouts are like kind of fluky. Like it just depends on the chin. If you get hit in the chin, you get knocked out. You know what I mean? It just depends on your chin. It's like not as much skill. Like boxing, Amir Khan, great fighter, great skills, glass chin. Always loses fights. Always will get knocked out. Bro cannot stay conscious in a fight. And I would say that's just like these fights. Unfortunately, your chin will destroy you in fights. And I feel like it's a better presidency if an actual fighter goes to 5 rounds, a dominant performance. Even I like round game better than striking because striking is like, it's good, it's great, but ground performance, full technical battle, you're rolling, you're scrambling on the ground, submission attempts, you have to defend submissions. It's like a whole chess battle on the ground. Top is like, you're just striking. It's still exciting, but I like ground game a lot more because it's more technical. But this was an absolute performance. The buzz before, the buzz after, the buzz the entire fight. He crucifixed the champion 4 times, 500 hits to the head on the ground. And the whole game plan for DDP in this fight was not to get finished. Everyone's like, oh my God, he couldn't finish DDP. He's a boring. DDP is still a champion. I feel like people are forgetting. DDP is still very good. Hamza is just levels above him. DDP is still levels above the division, and DDP was literally just he his entire focus in that fight was not to get finished. That's why he was covering up his head and couldn't get take. And the only opening was the back of the head, but you can't hit the back of the head. There's nothing that Hamza could have done. He did his part. And DDP should have stand up. If you're complaining if the fight's boring, tell him to stand up. Okay, you had a whole, you know Hamza's game plan. You're not going to try to learn how to stand up. That's on you. Next, possibly the most worst the worst numbered event of the year. Atrocious co-main. Dern and Dern versus Janarova, something like that. And Aspinall versus Gane. Oh my god. People are just destroying Aspinall for getting eye poked. That's not his fault. Blame Gane. Okay. Blame Gane for eye poking. Gane is known as a dirty fighter, known as always eye poking. Blame him. Why blame Aspinall? Bro wants Aspinall to fight like Daredevil. Who cares about your toughness? You can't see. You're fighting a 260-pound guy blind? Yeah, no thank you. Next. Ilya versus Oliveira. This was a good fight. Ilya outperformed Oliveira, of course, number 2 contender. Losing streak. Lost to Arman. Still fought Oliveira, even though Arman's right there. Because he went on multiple interviews. He went on a full media tour saying, I ain't fighting. Ilya's like, I'm not fighting Arman. Full media tour just to let them know that. And that's what happened in 324. He told UFC, I'm not fighting this dude. I'll vacate instead of fighting him, which he did, basically. So he did what he did in the interviews. People are still, like, being happy with him. Cool. Next. Bonfim versus Brown. It's on paper trash, but during the card, so many finishes. I think the whole main card was finishes. I believe great fights. What's it called? Underrated. Outperformed what was on paper, and it was good. It was good to see that. And it was a fun card because there was a lot of finishes and stuff like that. That's great to see. You always like finishes, but the card was still not up there, so that's why I just rated it as B for the good fights, the good performances is going on. Uncle I versus Prayer 2. S. I don't have to say it further. The build-up was fun. Marab was there. The Marab was the co-main as well. The whole build-up, the main card, the press conference was fun to see. The outcome of Pereira finished Ankalaev in the first 2 minutes, I think, because Ankalaev had an injury, but still, Pereira got that dub. Pereira got that finish. He did his job. He became champion again. Got his belt. Huge fight, huge main event, and huge performance by Pereira. He did Pereira outclassed in the first minute and just jumped right on Uncle I, what you have to do with Uncle. You have to be in his face to stand a chance. And Pereira was like that. Pereira owned that night. All flowers to him. He did great. Had a good fight. Komin was great as well. Marab was shooting a lot, but he also threw more hands, which was fun to see. But I would say great fight, great lead up. Press conference is good. Everything was good. That's why I was like S tier. It's fun to watch. I like these fights when the fight week is badass and whole build up is good. The fights have bad blood too, or there's always one person that's outscaling the other. I love that. And if there's a big what's it called, contendership or fights or stuff like that that's settled on during the main events. Those what I love. I like that. Next. Emma versus Brahalio. Great fight, great card. Emma Love. This was a contender fight. That's why I ranked it so high. Contender fights should be ranked high. Those are fun to watch. And Imavov earned that title shot. Next, Whitaker versus RDR. Fun card. The whole card, top to bottom, was great. A lot of fun prospects on there. Whitaker did great, but he still got outclassed by RDR. RDR fought so many times this year, and that just did it for him in his gas tank against Allen. But I'm sure he'll be back. I feel like he'll beat Brohalio in his next fight. We'll see if his gas tank is back or if his legs are beat. We'll see. Next, your first E card, Hill versus Roundtree. Oof. Oof. This was, yeah, no, just the top, like the light and heavyweight division and the heavyweight division is so dead. Like they're just all like rematching each other or just fighting just the top is just fighting the top and not defending their rankings. And like Jamal Hill's losing. He's like, okay, let me just fight Roundtree, bro. Good fight, good performance, but nothing special of this fight. Just two people who lost their last fight fighting each other. It's like, worst card of the year. Marab versus O'Malley 2. Kayla versus Julian Pena. Worst card of the year. Kayla, introduction, great fight though. Destroyed Pena. But O'Malley versus Marab. Oh my god. The most undeserved title shot I've seen in so long. Marab 50-45 O'Malley. O'Malley one title defense against Cheeto Vera. Cheeto fucking Vera. And then O'Malley gets a rematch. A rematch for getting 50-45 and 50-44. I think one of them was 50-44. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Bro, this was such a terrible card. I don't know why you would give that dude a rematch. Next, Usman versus Buckley. Good card, good fight night. Fun to see. Usman back in the octagon. And Buckley was talking all this trash. There's a lot of hype with Buckley. People are like, oh, they're going to beat Usman. I picked Usman. I don't know how no one was picking. A lot of people were not picking Usman. I think Usman was the underdog. And they're like, oh, no one needs Usman. Usman could beat the top, like almost the top five. He beats Protest. He beats Gary. He beats Brady. He beats Bilal. That's gonna be a shift. That's a flip of a coin. But he beats a lot of people. The only thing I'll question is I don't think he beats Islam, and I don't think he beats Morales. Shafkat, that's gonna be a flip of the coin too. So we'll see. But I think he beats Gary and Protest. Next, Ulberg versus Reyes. A lot of hype with Reyes. That was fun to see. But Ulberg just outclassed him. But this was a fun card to see. Mid, but it was fun. It was fun to see Reyes, all the hype with him. I wanted Reyes to win, get that storyline going, but unfortunately, Ulberg is too good. But good card, nonetheless. Another F card. Lewis versus Teixeira. Oh my god. Save me from this hellhole. I don't know who thinks of these cards. Terrible card. Terrible main event. Next. Blanchfield versus Barber. Next. Gary versus Protest. This was a fun card. A lot of people were doubting Gary. I thought I had Gary beating Protest. I don't think Protest is good. I think he's very overrated. I don't think he's good. I don't think he beats Lee. He beat Leon Edwards because Leon it's a mental game. I had Leon Edwards, but Leon is just. I said it in my prediction. I'm like Leon. If his mental estate is back, he beats Protest skill for skill. but I don't think his mental game was ever back from the Bilal fight. Even the Usman fight, he got completely dogged in the first one and just got that last minute head kick. I don't think his heart is in it anymore. But Gary, great performance by him. Uh, set him aside. This is a great fight, great card, good main event. Next, Volk versus Lopez, Patty versus Just Chandler. Great card, great fight, but mid. Like Volk, Lopez should never have fought Volk in the first time. He lost to Mozart. Give the contenders, the higher contenders, you know the chance, not the people who lost to them already. Made no sense. And Patty versus Justin, all right, but I can't believe he got a title shot off this fight. That's insane. That's one reason I rated up a little higher, but insane how he got a title shot off that. But UFC doing UFC things. Next, Emmett against Murphy. Boring, forgettable. Mid. Moreno versus Urseg. I hate Urseg so much. I don't know how he's getting such higher fights when all he's doing is just losing. Next. Brady versus Edwards. This was a great fight to see. Great matchup against all of those. Fun to see. Fun to see. Brady, a lot of people count him out. Masterclass submitted Leon Edwards. Huge, fun fight. It was good to see. But Brady just got. I knew he was going to lose against Morales. I knew, like, Brady's terrible on the feet. And so he needs to get the fight on the ground. He doesn't know how to shoot for takedowns, but life depends on it, though. It's so bad. But great fight nonetheless. Contender. It was a whole build up for this fight, so that's why I rated it so high. The build up was good. It was a lot of buzz. Fun card, fun night. Vittori versus Dolides. Oh my god. This was a terrible card. Terrible main event. Next. Royval versus Kate. This was when Royval, I think Royval had to step out from this fight. I think it turned into Kate versus Aus Almabev. So it was like a whole thing. Still good. It was still good performance by Cave. Still good card, but since this whole thing with like the whole rumor, I mean the whole dropping out, I just ranked it lower. Yeah, but still better than these other cards. Like the ranked lower, better than Lewis and T-shirt. Let me tell you that much. Next, Suhudo versus Song. Terrible finish, terrible main event. Quit because of eye poke. So bad. So something about eye pokes. I hate it so much. Ruined the card. Ruined the fight. Next, Cannonier versus Rodriguez. A lot of finishes, surprisingly, but it was a fun night, like a fun card. A lot of back and forth, but it was entertaining. I'll say that. That's why I rated it so high for a terrible main event, but it was still really entertaining. Next, Adesanya versus Imavov, Shara Magomedov versus Michael Van Page. That was the most random booking, but still entertaining. Still good fight. Great card. Top to bottom, the card was good. A lot of finishes, a lot of fun fights. I enjoyed it. Great main event. And that's how the cookie crumbles. I liked it. Build up was great. That's why I rated it so high. Build up was great. Great card, great entertaining. Checked all the boxes. Great fight. S tier, Islam versus Arman. I know it got changed to Renat, but we also had Omar versus Marab. This fight week was insane. The build up, I went there live and it was insane there live. It was insane. The fight week was insane. The fight preparations was insane. the whole drama, the whole I know Armand dropped out, but it was just a lot of buzz, a lot of news, it was a lot of fun for that fight week. Extremely entertaining, extremely fun to see. And I gave it a whole, that's why I rated it so high because it was just pure entertainment throughout and through and through. The Marab fight, Marab versus Omar, was the most technical battle in bantamweight history, I would say, but it was huge. It was fun to watch. Loved it. Next, DDP versus Strickland 2. Terrible, terrible card. DDP and Strickland, there didn't need to be a rematch. There's so many dumb rematches ever. This did not need to be a rematch. DDP schooled Strickland in the first one, and Hamza should have been next. We could have got Hamza during this time, and we could have got another Hamza fight later this year. It didn't happen. Well, Hamza's injured right now, but it didn't happen before. Could have got. Sorry, I'm just yawning so much today. But yeah, we could have got two fights from Hamza this year, but UFC really wanted this fight, which was trash. Next. But DDP still outclassed Strickland again, as predicted. I'm going to go. Next card. The first one, Ankalaev versus Pereira. The fight week for this, Ankalaev beating Pereira. That was huge. The whole build up for this fight, the two build ups for these fights were huge. All the fans just going at each other. Pure entertainment. Fight was great. It was just back and forth. Masterclass. Loved it. Next. Dern versus Ribas 2. Oh my god. Just rough. Never make those cards again. And last but not least, the best card of the year, Islam versus JDM. Biggest super fight. Islam moving up in weight, 15 pounds against JDM. Huge fight. He was still the champion. He's not no number 2 contender, not number 1 contender. He was a champion. He fought the champion. 18 fight win streak. He fought him. And now Islam is 16 fight wins. Well, he was 18 fight win streak in his entire career, not in the UFC only. But Islam is 16 fights win streak in the UFC. His next fight will be for longest win streak in the UFC, which Silva has at 16. So they're tied. We'll see how it goes. Let's do it. And that's all. These are all the fights that I have booked. That I was booked in 2024. Ranked them all. Let me know what you think. Thank you for coming me on this fun little journey. But I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if my picks are trash. Let me know if you think you could do better, what you would rank differently. I'll be glad to hear it. Thank you so much. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.